Good morning, LinkedIn friends, Value First Nation. Welcome to another episode of Value First AI Daily, your collaborative AI intelligence report. Happy Thursday, December 4th, 2025. How are we doing, Nico?
We are doing fantastic. Yeah, we're doing fantastic. It's another day, and I used to say like, oh yeah, not really that much going on because there weren't like major breakthroughs, let's say. And major breakthroughs, you know, typically end up getting defined as like, oh, OpenAI dropped a new model, or uh, Anthropic dropped a new model, whatever it might be. And I know there's a lot of hoopla going around about this code red situation at OpenAI. I gotta tell you right out the gate, again, like you're dealing with like one of the most underhanded, like amazing marketers I've seen in a long time. Because this guy has pulled some shit and since like OpenAI's launch, that's like, huh, gotcha. Like he's done it like I don't know how many times, right? Like the between random launches, the 12 days of shipments, which if a new model releases next week, I have no idea what to expect. Like I think people forget about that from last year and like how much drop we got in that 12 days of shipments. So even if it doesn't drop next week, for sure there's something dropping like for shipments. Um, I mean, they own that now. Like it's in my head. I'm looking forward to these 12 days of the year, like every year now, right? So like despite what anybody else does. My point is the fact that everyone heard about the code red. Really? If it was so like super special and it was so important, do you really think you would have heard about it? There are plenty of things. There are so many things that OpenAI has talked about or Sam has talked about like at release or just before release that were mind blowing that no one had any clue about, right? The important stuff, basically. And then everything else has been like promotional stuff, like hints at things in the future, basically. So I don't, my response to it essentially is I don't know that there's necessarily any seriousness behind it. I don't think
I
that
mean,
Sam is sitting
it's
there like, oh no.
certainly a way to grab headlines back.
Yes.
And I mean, I could think of all sorts of reasons, uh, traditional and untraditional, to do that.
Mhm.
Because what were the headlines at the moment? It was Gemini 3. Uh-oh. Everybody and their brother saying, I don't know about GPT anymore. Like, I'm switching. Are you switching? I'm switching. Like that
Did,
was
did you
everywhere.
see Benioff's comment?
I did not.
Longtime user of GPT, use Gemini, never going back.
All right. And then 4 days later, Opus 4.5.
That's
Like, oh my God, this is the best experience ever. Like, you're seeing it from every angle. And
mm-hmm.
and then we hear the code red. So it's almost uh like, well, he has to do something. And if
Yeah.
everybody thinks I should be panic, let's panic. Let's just say that uh that we're paying attention in some way, and probably not a better way to have done it, just to stay in the loop. Um, but also, like, I think we're gonna see the importance of being first, um, to market in the
Mm-hmm.
way that they were. Like, it's gonna be very hard to lose the traction they have. It's so interesting though about these layers and the different go to markets here between like Google, uh, like in the ecosystem they have, it's just such a ridiculous advantage. Not to mention they've been doing it longer, and they have the infrastructure of just all of the things. Um, but Claude and like the way that, um, or Anthropic, the way that they're owning like the coding sphere,
Mhm.
um, uh, I think it's going to be super important. And I'm still excited for what OpenAI is going to do from the device perspective, whatever Johnny Ives is cooking. Um, and it's probably a bit of like, can they hang on long enough until then? But that doesn't even feel right to say. Like hanging on is not a thing. We're gonna continue to see this upward spiral of value, which is weird. Like usually it's downward, like um, in terms of just I don't know. It's weird, man. Like I do look forward to seeing what drops, but I think the part that we're missing, and you were mentioning it before the show, is all the secondary effects of these models and the use cases. And like because we're seeing like with Opus 4.5, I've never seen like the if you were to measure the positivity, if there's like a positivity sentiment on Reddit with Claude, like all the notifications I used to get from that Reddit were about limits and
Yep.
uh Claude's not listening to me, and just it was negative. Now I don't see any of that. It's all, oh my God, look what I made with Claude. Like just over and over and over.
Mhm.
Right.
Yeah.
And when you can just take that kind of at face value, um, and by the way, I think this is what AI does when we're talking about AEO and stuff like that. Like it's you just see these signals and you get a read, right? On what the zeitgeist is. And like what if that's like people that care about Reddit, like changing like the ripple effects of how when that model is that good and it's used in all these other places to back up all these other products and
Mhm.
applications and like it's wild to think about, and there's so much being missed while we worry about the code reds of the of the news cycle, right?
Yeah.
A lot of great things are happening, man.
It really is, and, like, the underlying, changes, that's one of the things that's getting noticed right now is that the top-down aspect of AI launches and, rollouts is not necessarily slowing down, but, like, it's at the pace that it's at, right? Like, this absorbent pace or what have you. What is scaling very quickly is the developer use of Claude Code. So if you look at like API usage rates, Claude Code is essentially like Claude Anthropic is just soaring at this point. And it's because of Opus 4.5. It is just so much better. I don't know if it's because of the subscription level or whatever, but every time I go to it, it defaults on 4.5 thinking mode, which is just like it's weird that I have to like actually peel back. A week ago, we were talking about how like these models are well beyond the quality of what we need in terms of what they can deliver. And here I am finding myself talking about having to actually dial back the model from default to do something I need it to do because I don't want it to put an excessive amount of thinking into what it is I need. So yeah, I mean, inside of 3 years, we went from this thing can't even write a cohesive paragraph to, my gosh, it's so much I have to dial it back down,
Right.
at least on my end. And the fact that like there's going to be more model releases. So now I really do. I think that Christmas changes this show. I think at like the beginning of next year, it's really more about like this activation
Hmm.
and like adoption and
Yeah. It's time to go.
amalgamation, right? Yeah, it's,
Right.
I mean, activation's the best way I can put it. It's just it's going to be way more about like, hey, here's what it is. Here's the deal with what's out there, and here's how you need to get involved. Because I'm telling you, the just the few people that I've worked with, it's the same as when all of this stuff launched to begin with. The few people that I've worked with that I've activated with regards to vibe coding, where you where you're sitting there thinking right now, I'm not a coder, I'm not interested in programming, I have no interest in programming, I don't want to do that kind of stuff. Like just tap me on the shoulder and spend like 15-20 minutes with me, right? No charge, nothing. I don't care. Just 15-20 minutes will will do something really simple, and your life will change forever. That's the and like this, it's not a pitch, it's not some bullshit. I'm not talking out of my ass. This isn't like make believe. It's not snake oil, right? All of you out there that have been saying to yourselves and telling other people, which is even worse, oh, well, they said that it was going to cure cancer, and, here it is, just a chatbot, and it can barely make a good image. First of all, let me tell you, starting next week, we are going to be going through on a daily basis, mind you. I have a perplexity research task that pulls the latest from from the last 18 hours, what the latest medical breakthroughs are related to AI. Every single day, it's new. Every single day, it's a new list. I'm sure that it could be more massive than it is, but it's just down to whatever it can find, obviously. Um, and I'm not even joking. Every single day, it's a brand new list of brand new breakthroughs that are being done. We haven't had this much science level, like this much breakthrough momentum in scientific advancement ever. It's never happened before, right? Like, and we're, again, it seems like, programming, science, blah, blah, blah. You don't get it. Like, that's the next building block. Code is the next learning how to write. Like now that I step back and I'm looking at it, we're just getting to that next intellectual plateau that we should already have been at, to be honest with you. Where, sorry guys, programming, maybe a little bit more math, definitely a lot more science is just going to be the bedrock. Like your intelligence level will have to get higher by nature. This entire theory of like, oh, people who are using AI now and kids using AI and rotting their brains, all this, nope, opposite direction so far as I can see. If you want to, I was just asking Chris the other day, it's like, how much more do you know now since having started vibe coding? It's not even like, oh, I learned this new app and here's these new things I can do with this app. It's, I learned this whole new skill that opens up an entire world of shit that I wasn't even privy to. It's very much uh you know
I'd say even worse than that, like you're privy to it and you think you can't do it,
yeah, barrier.
right?
Yeah.
And you're like, man, that would be cool, but I haven't done XYZ, or I don't know how to do XYZ, and that's the barrier. And it's not there anymore. It's being able to add capabilities at this kind of speed, right, is really what um, like Nico said, I mean, it really just takes sitting down for a few minutes and saying, all right, maybe we can do this. In all these situations, it's literally taking something you've already done before and just, I think, where I think the verdict is still out on the idea of coding in general being the like the capability itself. I think
Yeah, I will say,
the natural language, the ability to speak to AI to get to just do anything
yeah.
really is where I'm at because my journey was largely stopped by me trying a couple times to do developer like things, right? Where I'm trying to go with Claude and like, all right, go to the APIs, go manage these settings, go get a key, right? And then this is over the last year, like doing those things and then getting to a last mile that I could not, cover myself, right? And that happened a couple times. And then we get this far, and just the order that this happened in over the last month, and we're going to be doing a show and tell this weekend. Hopefully George can come back. And we see in just 2 weeks. I think it's 2 weeks for him, maybe 4 weeks for me. The amount of stuff that we've built um, uh, is blowing people's minds when they see it. Uh, and but the things that kind of fell into place were one, just unlocking the brain of like, okay, maybe I can do this, but choosing the right tools, like moving from traditional domain managers to something like Vercel, where everything's like automatic and connected. And it's so easy to do error checks and all these like probably best practice like developer stuff that I don't have any idea like when and why and how to do that effectively and when green mean the green or when green means yeah we got it up but there's still a bunch of shit going on over here that might pop up eventually. um, but then when like couple that with like the Gemini 3 activation came out and then Opus 4.5,
Mhm.
um, where it's like the space that I was in, all of a sudden, all these limits that I was settling with, honestly, because I liked the experience of talking to Claude. Now those go away. And what's interesting, and another
And
thing that gets missed, I
what
think, is
changed also about your prompting too?
right. That's where I was like getting
Oh, sorry.
is how these companies use these models themselves. Like when Opus 4.5 comes out, and we all realize how good it is. They've been using it already. And when they're starting to say things like, oh, AI does X percentage of our code, right? I guarantee it's involved in the limits coming down like for the whole system. The concept of summarizing, like being able to go into a chat and not have to end the chat prematurely, not getting stopped unexpectedly, right? And when those things changes, the usage changes for me because now I don't have to worry about those limits. I don't have to feel like I have to manufacture the chat in a way that like I have to ask how many tokens we have left. I don't have to do that anymore,
Right.
right? And even in that motion itself, like the wasteful like spend of that chat, of that response, it just changes everything. And one thing you mentioned about because I'm experiencing the same thing where sometimes I'm using Cloud Code for web because it's Sonnet and it just feels like it gets things done more directly. And I've been running into some Opus 4.5 things where it's like, okay, maybe we're overthinking this, right? Literally, that's what it's designed to do.
Mhm.
Uh, but remember when GPT-5 came out and it was like, yeah, humans let's not let them choose the model, right? Let's see if we're gonna have GPT choose the model. Didn't go well right away, and they started like giving some stuff back. But I can only imagine the data set that has been generated related to when it works and when it doesn't, and how humans react to it. And they're not going to give up on that because at the end of the day, we're not great at knowing. First of all, we don't, because we're not going to hold like the 2 million parameters or whatever the weights are in our head to know which one at which time and when. So eventually, AI is going to be good enough to say, and for most people, we need it to be that good because I want to know how it works so that I can make good choices like that. But at the end of the day, I also want the flexibility of saying, like, okay, I think I have this simple request. And then now you just gave me a response. It's like, okay, now it just got super complex, right?
Yeah.
And now we need to handle that. Oh, wait, now that we're on this track, now it's super easy. So let's just do this and this and this, and not being able to go back and forth, or it's another change of how you feel like you have to operate if you have to manage the AI in that way,
Yeah.
right? Which, right? And I wouldn't be surprised if like GPT-6, they they take that to the next level, right? And they do almost the same thing and just nail it, right?
Yeah.
Because and it's not them nailing it, it's the
No.
AI. It's the
Right.
AI learning from what happened, right?
It's a whole new world.
Right.
uh,
And we're
and
not even that's
it's
where I would
yeah. I
love to
mean, we're
know what's
still like,
behind the scenes of we haven't gotten to the robots yet.
no,
When that
no,
data
we
set
haven't.
comes over, like, holy shit, man.
What's hilarious is I saw a video the other day, and it's hilarious to me because it featured a professor at Rutgers, and I gotta tell you, like, I've never felt so. It's gonna sound like a really arrogant thing. I don't, I don't know what to tell you. It's just the way that it is. You're either like, I'm not even joking. Like at this point, we're so far in. You're either at the same level that me and Chris are on, or you really don't know what the hell you're talking about. This is it's really that simple. Like, and it's totally fine. I'm not saying that it's bad and it's wrong to not know where. That's fine because like that's how you learn. Is like okay, get involved and start asking and start learning. What the reason I bring it up is because this professor from Rutgers should definitely spend more time learning and reading and watching and doing, because they spent the entire time talking about how AI has been promising so much blah 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 with regards to curing cancer, this that and the other, and seemingly all it's managed to turn out is chatbots and image creation and generative AI slop. I again, we're gonna start next week. I could start today, just in terms of like what has been done, the advancements that have been made just in the last month alone for Alzheimer's and dementia in terms of diagnosis and early detection. Unbelievable. Like it will really within 6 months, you will start to hear a very loud reverberation of wow, dementia is so much easier to catch now. Wow, Alzheimer's so much easier to treat now. And I'm not even joking when I say that Demis is right on the doorstep of being able to figure out how to reverse it. Like that's how far in we are, is that this stuff is breaking things down and is now folding things on a quantum scale, giving us new mathematics, giving us, yeah, that's right. Like we finally discovered new math, right? New methods of doing stuff that we would not have discovered for like at least 100 years. So we're quite literally time traveling and bringing it to the present, right? In the face of, a college professor saying like, "Oh yeah, well, it's all just chatbots and nonsense," right? And to me, it's like, well, that's because your only use for it at this point must be that, and or you want to just be like in this, you know, BS conversation of like, oh yeah, this is definitely what's going on. Otherwise, that's not the case, right? And what's sad is that that was only followed up by yet another professor who said that, yeah, well, that's why a British professor, that's why people are fleeing more and more into manual labor and into traditional labor jobs and apprenticeship jobs because that's going to be it's going to be a while before they take that over because humans have hands and that's a very difficult thing. Really, my brother was making that argument. Okay, he was making that argument like 3-4 months ago. He was like, "Oh, the dexterity with the hands, you can't possibly. How are you going to mimic the dexterity?" Done, done. Challenge these people. Challenge them. Please keep challenging them because the more that you challenge them, the faster they'll be able to beat that challenge.
Yeah.
Right? Like I've never seen an industry move so fast. Like robotics has gone from Atlas, which no one gave a shit about, to working in car factories. Like, is anybody wrapping their heads around that one? That we went from a robot that could barely walk on surfaces, let alone jump in the air, to now having, I mean, a cheap robot, like 13 grand, you can get a robot that can do Tai Chi, right? I don't know what to tell you guys. Like the advancement is insane. To think that there's not going to be like the first robot plumber by the end of next year is crazy to me. I will definitely have a personal robot by the end of next year. Absolutely. Like, I don't care how it has to happen. It will probably happen before the end of next year. But at some point, you're going to see me and you're going to see my robot in a chair next to me. And we're both just going to be hanging out on camera. And
Yeah.
robot's going to be the next, going to be our third.
I mean, I can't wait. I was hoping you're going there. I
Yeah,
can't wait till there's a
absolutely.
third window.
Yeah.
Like, and then we can be
Yeah,
like,
actually, I
all
think the
right, dude,
robot will have his own desk and everything.
we're not feeling it today. Can you take this show? Can you take this episode today? Thanks.
Guys, I can't make
Right.
it, but robot's going to fill in for me. Don't worry about it. Yeah,
Oh
I
man.
see it. I
But
totally see it.
we'll be here,
Oh, I
continuing
did wanna
to,
show this real quick.
yeah.
2 seconds, and I know we'll show it a little bit more tomorrow because, of course, I'm gonna show it to George and link it and all that. Kimi K2 is a, uh, open source model, that you can use for free, and, they just dropped their, slide builder
Wow.
that leverages Nano Banana Pro. So, you can now drop in all the cool ideas that you have. I didn't even give it an instruction on like the style to use
Oh
at all.
gosh. Okay. I can't wait to talk
Yeah.
about this tomorrow.
Yeah. Wait till you see the thinking process on this thing. It's insane. It's
Oh
really it's
man.
insane. All of you guys that have been complaining about like, oh, can't get a good deck maker, can't get a good deck. Okay, I think that's over.
Yep. All right. Well, that's a good teaser for tomorrow. Uh, everybody have an amazing Thursday, and we'll see you next time. Thanks, Nico.
See you guys.